So today we are looking at the Lingmo OS 2.0 Hydrogen. So here you can see the Lingmo OS boot menu. So I already made a lot of videos on this Linux distribution. So let's first quickly boot it in the live boot. So as you can see, it says as a 6.10.9, which is the kernel version. I'm going to discuss all those things as soon as the desktop layout is loaded. So let's click on the try or install, which is a live boot. So right now I'm running it on the virtual machine, which is a VMware with 60 GB of virtual disk, 8 GB of RAM, and my CPU is i5 1240p. So booting process sometimes takes like a 2 or 3 minutes, but sometimes it will be very quick. So I'm going to discuss all those things as soon as it's booted up. So I'm going to mention how much of time it's going to take. So I already made a lot of videos, like 4 or 5 videos I think, on this Linux distribution. So I'm going to discuss all those things, like what it is based on, what desktop environment you get, and all those things as soon as the desktop layout is loaded. So let it load. So already posted a video of some funny Linux distribution, which is Lingmo OS An OS. So there is like a weird and it's like a funny name of that Linux distribution, which is already posted in the YouTube. So I thought it was like a funny Linux distribution, so that's the reason I posted it. So if you want to check that out, you can check it out. So let's wait until the desktop is loaded. So here you can see the desktop layout loaded. So here you have like a installer first. So it's kind of like a CutefishOS kind of thing, but we are going to show all the information. So let's first change the resolution. So it automatically changes in the VMware. So you get the installer here as soon as you boot up. So I'm going to see the about information. You get the Calamares installer, which is a 3.3.9. So I'm going to show you the installer later. So let's see how much of resources it's consuming. And also there is like an installer here. So let's find the system monitor. So here it is. Let's see how much of resource it's going to take. And here is our system monitor. Kinda some weird animation. Let it open. So can't make it bigger. So let's try to see the information about the system monitor. So you get the latest 46.0, and also the GNOME 47 is also available in the Linux market. So if you want to check that out, you can check it out. So here are all the processes running right now and resources. So it's consuming 1.6 GB of RAM, cache is like a 2.4 GB, CPU pretty much we need to run like a minute or 60 seconds in order to see how much of resources it's consuming. So when we see like a stable graph throughout the minute or a 60 seconds, you can say it's pretty much good or a stable ISO file. So I think it's not making bigger. So as you can see, when I click on the maximize, it doesn't it doesn't want to be on the full screen. So it's just like this short or in a small screen. So I'm going to keep it like that. So like this, I'm going to keep the system monitor throughout the video so you can see all the changes and you can judge whether to use this Linux distribution or not. So let me open the Firefox web browser and let's go to the official website and get all the other information. So usually the Firefox will take like 15 seconds in the virtual machines. Let's see how much of time it's going to consume. And also in the system settings, you should be seeing some settings like info and all those things. So it's kind of like a CutefishOS. If you don't know about the Cutefish Linux distro, you can see my previous videos in the channel. So the PC name it says as a Lingmo, and the system name itself. So I'm going to minimize the Firefox and we can go through all this information. So here you can see the system name is a Lingmo OS 2.0 and the code name I guess is Hydrogen. And the desktop version is 2.0.0 and the UI is a Lingmo UI 2.2.0. I think this is kind of like this sounds like an Asian name, so I don't know where it is from, but I'm going to show you all the information from the official website. So there is no official website. It was available in the SourceForge website. So I downloaded like in the SourceForge like 3 times. I made like 3-4 times of video on this Linux distribution. But I don't really remember in which dates or in which month I did, because I'll be making like 2 videos daily without missing. So it's pretty much very hard to remember. I made like 3,000 videos. It's pretty much very hard to remember for a normal person. So here is all the information of the Lingmo OS. So other things we're going to go through that later. So let me open the Firefox. and let's check the version we have here. So the latest stable version is 130.0.1. So that's the latest version of the Firefox. So you don't get the point update, but you get the still latest version of the Firefox, which is 130. And also there is a beta version of a 131 of a Firefox. So if you want to check that information, there is already information in the official website of the Firefox. So let me type in about. So I think the keyboard isn't working. Let's try it again. So as you can see, the keyboard is not working. So I think I need to restart the PC. So I need to restart the PC. So let me do it. So as you can see, I can't type anything here. So I'm searching and typing on the keyboard. So there is like a keyboard layout viewer here. So there is a keyboard here. So we are going to continue with it. So right now the keyboard is not working. Usually some Linux distros doesn't properly work. Like sometimes the keyboard doesn't work. Sometimes the internet doesn't work. So that's a pretty common thing in the Linux distros or in the virtual machines. So you just need to fix those things. So let me type in about support. So I'm going to use this one. So it will be pretty odd for me to use. So let's try. So I think I just need to restart it. It doesn't properly working. So I'm just going to restart the PC. I don't want to make a video way lengthy. So that's the reason I'm going to just restart the PC. And I'm going to, I will be back again as soon as the desktop is loaded. So we are back right now. The keyboard is working also. So let's type in like a about support. About support. And that's it. You should be seeing, and cache is like a 2.8 GB. And also the CPU is like a bit high graph here. So it's going to change when you run like a 60 seconds or a minute. And you should be seeing all those things. So here is our CPU and RAM. Keep an eye on the CPU and RAM so you can judge on your own whether to use it or not. And also there will be some differences, like when you run it on the virtual machines, there will be some minor hiccups here and there sometimes. So usually everything will be fine, but in some rare cases there will be like a kind of small lag and like a hiccups here and there. So in the bare metal it's going to be performing way better. And also I don't have any complete information about this distribution. So it's better to do your own research, and if you're satisfied then go with the installations, or else just skip this Linux distribution, because we have already a lot of Linux distributions available in the Linux market. So let's continue with the video. So version, I already mentioned about the Firefox. User agent, which is unnecessary for the video. So the kernel you get is a 6.10.9. So let's go to the Linux kernel website. Just type in like a Linux kernel, and first link obviously will be the official website of the Linux kernel. So the stable version right now is 6.10.11, but you get is the 6.10.9, which is just a 0.2 difference. And here is like a mainline version, the stable version. Right now we are using the stable version, and there are like a long-term version. If you don't know what I'm talking about the mainline, stable and long-term, you just need to click on the releases. Here is a brief explanation of the whatever the kernel you get. So if you see the RC in front of the mainline version, you should be getting all the information about the pre-patch. And about the mainline, here is the all the mainline version. And about the stable version, you get all the information about the stable, and about the long term, you get all the information. So here is the long term information. So these are all the long term version, and the end of life will be right here, and release date will be right here. In order to get the kernel information, you just need to type in like a uname-r, or else you can use like a uname-a or neofetch inxa-sv8. There are a lot of things you can try to get the kernel information. So here is the information about the Linux kernel. You just get the 0.2 lesser of the stable version, but it's okay. So here is the complete information, like a OS theme is at beta. And when you scroll it down, you should be also seeing the memory size, which is around like a 7.7 GB, which I already mentioned. I'm using 8 GB of RAM. So the available RAM will be like a 7.7, and disk space is like a 3.8 GB. And other browser information, which I don't consider it as important for the video, but it is some information important for some other users. So if you want, you can just pause the video and read everything about that browser, like a picture in picture and all those some information. So here is the LLVM pipe and some Mesa information. So the Mesa is 24.2.2-1. And when you scroll it down, you should be also seeing the same information here, like a Mesa and all those things. Window protocol, it's X11. Desktop environment is a Lingmo. So the desktop environment is also called as a Lingmo. And here is like a Mesa information, 24.2.2. And these are like a monitor resolutions and all those things. So you can get all the other information right from here. So I'm just going to go to the official website. So I already mentioned there is like a no official website. You get the ISO files from the SourceForge. So in order to get from the SourceForge, you just need to type in like a SourceForge as the search term. And the first link will obviously the official website, or else you can just type in like a sourceforge.net and it will take directly to the SourceForge website. So here you just need to type in like a Lingmo, and obviously you should be getting the project. So this is the icon. So this is the icon you need to identify. If you have like a multiple projects, you just need to click here. So right now its status is a beta. So about the Lingmo Linux, so it's called as a Lingmo New Linux or a Lingmo OS, is a desktop based on Linux operating system developed based on the open source Debian kernel and adapted to the kernel architecture. It has a beautiful desktop environment software that is compatible with the desktop environment and a unified UI style. The goal of a Lingmo New Linux is to provide users with a luxurious and practical desktop environment as well as a smooth experience on a low performance hardware. So obviously it's not a well-known distribution, and also I never recommend any type of Linux distributions in my channel. I always recommend that you need to do your own research, and always if you're satisfied, then go with the installation. And also one thing I always remember, or I always mention it in my videos, that never go with the unknown distributions, never go with like a fancy Linux distributions or anything like that. Always go with the well-known distributions or distributions which are available from past few years. So always go with the trusted Linux distributions instead of just fancy things. You can go with this type of Linux distributions. Always try it in the virtual machines or like a virtual box VMware like that. Never try it on the bare metal or like a, don't try it in like a main PC or work PC, because it's completely unknown distributions. I never recommend, or I never recommend any type of Linux distributions. I just say always go with the well-known distributions, because even if you have like some issues or any bugs, a lot of people are ready to help for you. If you download the well-known distributions, they can easily help for you. Or else if you download some random distributions, they can't even help those if you have any bugs or if you have any issues. So that's the reason I always mention, if you have a good PC, always try like a well-known distributions which has like a 4 or 5 years of support. Go with this those type of distributions. If you want to do some fancy things, if you want to go with the fancy things, always you can do you can just watch some tutorials again, and you can do it on your own PC. You don't need to go with some random distributions and download those and install those things. You can do all those things. You just need to wait for a few time, and you can watch some videos for the tutorials like that, and you can do all the customization on your own. You don't need to go and download some random distributions like this one. So it doesn't have any official website or anything. You just like found it on the SourceForge. I'm just making on the virtual machine, so I don't even care whatever happens on the virtual machines, because I can easily delete these ISO files and I go with another distributions. So that's the reason I always recommend, even if I make a video on it, never go with the never go with the unknown distributions. Always go with the well-known distributions, because I will be making video and I will be deleting the ISO files and I will be making another video, because it's just money for me. I just make a YouTube just for the money, because it's your main PC. You don't need to ruin some PC just by downloading some random distributions. So always, that's the reason I always mention, never go with the unknown distributions. Always go with the well-known distributions, and which is like a past few years and good support and all those things. So if you already have a good Linux distributions running, don't go with some fancy things. Never the fancy things, because they try to attract you to just get to that distribution. So that's the reason I mentioned, if they already have a good work, they don't need to do all those things. They will be providing all the information. But always go with the well-known distributions. There are a lot of distributions available, like a Debian, Ubuntu, MX Linux, like a lot of distributions you can do customization on your own. You just need to spend some time on the tutorials, and you can easily do that on your PC. So I always recommend never go with the unknown distributions. So that's the only thing in my channel. I just make a video just for the money, and as soon as the ISO videos is completed, I'm going to delete the ISO file and I will go with another video, because I'll be making 2 videos daily. I don't even try to install it on the bare metal and all those things. So that's the reason, if you're a normal user, always go with the well-known distributions which has a good support and all those things. Never go with the fancy things. You can just do that on your own. So you just need to watch some tutorials. There are a lot of guys who help the on the YouTube community, and also in the forums there are a lot of people who love to help others. So you better go there and find all those things instead of going some random distributions and downloading and installing on the main PC. So there is like some privacy issues also sometimes. So that's the reason, never go with the unknown distributions, because I don't know who made these distributions or when they made it. As you can see, it's like a brought you by, it's like a cute developer. I don't know who is cute here. So here is the, and also you can see the location. Here is our location. So it's a Asian Linux distribution. I don't have any hate, but it's called as a Chinese Linux distribution. We already have like a lot of Chinese Linux distributions like a deepin and all those things. So if you want to try any distributions, you can try it, but from my side or from my channel, I never recommend any distributions. I always recommend well-known distributions. Even they say I'm going to you need to say this type of things, I'm not going to recommend like that. Always go with the well-known distributions like Ubuntu, MX Linux, Linux Mint. There are good distributions like from past few years. They have like 4 or 5 years of support. You just need to go with some like a lightweight desktop environments if you have like a low end PC. If you have like a good end PC, you can go with the GNOME, KDE and other desktop environments. Why not Cinnamon and like a Mac desktop environment? There are a lot of distributions. There are a lot of desktop environments. You don't need to go with some random distributions just for the fancy things. You can do all those fancy things on your own. Just you need some time and you can do that, all those things. So let's continue with the video. So that's the only thing I want to say to you. Don't go with the unknown distributions. Always go with the well-known distributions. So about the Lingmo OS, here is the complete information. So here is the release and the ISO, and the code name for the latest ISO is the Hydrogen. As you can see, here is the Hydrogen. If you are a Linux tester or a distro hopper, you can try this distribution in the virtual machines. I don't have any issues if you try it on the virtual machines, but not in the bare metal. I'm never going to recommend any of the distributions like which are not properly known. I'm not going to recommend those distributions on the bare metal, but you can try it on the virtual machines. I don't have any problem. So here is the ISO file, or else you can just click it here to get the ISO file. So the ISO file is around like a 3.8 GB. So it's going to take like a 5 seconds, and as soon as the it's completed, the download will be started here. So here is our ISO file. So that's the sum of the information about the system requirements. There is no such information about the system requirements. So I don't think you need like a high resources or a heavy resources in order to run this distribution. But right now it's consuming like 1.7 GB. CPU is pretty much unstable because of some high peak here, but it is consuming like a 10-15% of the CPU. And let's open the terminal. Let's type in some commands and get some distro information. Let me type in inxi-sv8. So it says command not found. Neofetch. So here is the neofetch. It says Lingmo OS 2.0.0 Hydrogen. I'm running it on the VMware, which I already mentioned. Uptime 19 minutes. Kernel 6.10.9. Shell bash version 5.2.32. Resolution 1920 x 1080. Desktop environment Lingmo. And here is like a 12 Gen i5 CPU and my RAM and all those things. So in the background I installed inxi. So I'm going to type in inxi-sv8, and here you should be getting all the information like graphics, distro and all those things. So host, it says let's first go with the system. So host, it says like a Lingmo, kernel version which I already mentioned, 64-bit, and compiler GCC version is 13.3.0. and here is some other information. So Lingmo OS 2.0.0 distro, and the codename is Hydrogen. And let's scroll it down. Here is some VMware information which is unnecessary for the video. 8 GB of RAM, available is 7.7, used is 1.9, 7 GB. And here you can see it's a 2.1 GB, same thing. And here are some other information. So let's scroll it down. About the CPU, you should be seeing i5 1240p, which I already mentioned in the beginning. So these are all some CPU information which I don't consider it as important for the video. Let's go with the graphics information. VMWGFX version is 2.20, and here is like a display X11, server Xorg version 21.1.13. and what else we have here? My monitor resolution. Here is available monitor resolutions or the virtual monitor things, and EGL version is 1.5. and what else we have? OpenGL version is 4.5 and Compact V is 4.3. Mesa version already mentioned, which is 24.2.2-1. and here is the Vulkan information, which is 1.3.290. LLVM pipe or LLVM information is 18.1.8. and what else we have? Let's go with the audio information. Here is the ELSA version, and Pipewire version is 1.2.3. and the network, which is unnecessary, network, Bluetooth, drives, partitions, unmounted, USB, repos. So these are all not important for the video, so that's the reason I'm just going to skip it. So process running right now 304, uptime is almost 22 minutes. And what else we have here? Init systemd version is 256 and GCC version is 14.2.0, which is compilers. And shell bash version, which I already mentioned in the NeoFetch. INXI version is 3.3.36. So let me type in cat /etc/issue. So you should be seeing the Lingmo OS 2.0 Hydrogen. So if you want the desktop, you can install the desktop. So desktop is not found because I didn't install the desktop, I just installed the INXI. So let's close it and let's double click on the installer. Let's see what are the changes in the installer. So you get the Calamares installer as in the beginning I already showed you, which is a 3.3.9. Again the same thing, Calamares installer, you don't see any changes. Choose your language, click on next, choose your location, choose the map, or you can choose the drop down menu. Just some round design around the installer is a new thing here. The system language will be set to American English, United States. So I'm going to keep everything as a default. The numbers and date locales will be set to American English, United States. Again, I kept everything as a default. Click on next. Choose your keyboard here. I'm going to choose the my keyboard. It automatically chooses your keyboard, but if anything is wrong, you just need to find your keyboard right here. And choose the language for the keyboard and also the variant. And if you want to try to test here, you can type in the here, and you need to get the keyboard here. You just need to test your keyboard here. And about the switch keyboard, you can choose all the variants available here. And after that, just click on next. And here you should be seeing your installation drive or the installation destination, wherever you want to install. So the first option is basically it's going to delete everything in that specific chosen drive. It's going to delete like a media files, operating system, videos, documents, whatever it is. It's going to wipe everything and it's going to just install Lingmo OS on that specific drive. And the other option is like a manual partitioning. So you need to create a partition before you choose this option. The partition will be available right here. And after choosing the partition, you can install it from here. And you should be seeing the two operating systems in the boot menu or in the dual boot options in the boot menu. And also there is some issue right now running on the internet, like a dual boot problems. So if you want to get all the information about the dual boot options, you can search it in the internet. You should be getting all the information. There is like some new update ruined like a dual boot options or something like that. So it's better to go get all the information instead before like installing like a dual boot or something like that. So So when you choose the erase disk option, you can also encrypt your system by providing the password in the both the boxes, which should be same in the both the boxes. If you don't want the encryption, just uncheck it, and the current drive will be like this. After installation, it will be like this, and here is the bootloader location. If you don't know how to install the Linux distro in the virtual disk or in the main disk, you need to watch some tutorials and you should be good. I made like a lot of videos, but I never made a specific installation tutorials videos. I installed it on the hard disk and also the virtual disk, SSDs and all those things, but I don't really remember in which video I installed, so that's the reason I'm recommending you to watch some short tutorials. And also I made like a 3000 videos. It's pretty much very hard to remember in which video, and also my videos will be a bit lengthier because I'll be covering everything in that specific distro about like a desktop backgrounds, new features and all the other information. So my videos will be a bit like a 30-35 minutes. So, and also my thoughts will be there in that video, so that's the reason I'm not going to recommend you just for the installation. I don't want you to watch complete video, it will be like meaningless. So it's better to watch some short videos which from the other channels which will be available in YouTube. Like just watch like a 2 or 3 minute videos. There will be like a short videos and you should be good with the installation. So after clicking on next, here is the user account creation, which is similar in every Linux distros and also in every operating systems. So you don't need any problem here. So there is no complicated things in the Linux distro while installing. So it says what is your name, just type in your name. So I'm choosing my channel name here. What name do you want to use to log in? Use the alphabets instead of numericals, because here you should be seeing a pop-up like your username must start with a lowercase letter or an underscore. So always use like alphabets like this. And what is the name of this computer? I'm going to just keep it like a 9to5 Linux. I'm going to remove all those VMware and all the other information. So it says choose a password to keep your account safe. So use your password here, and always save your password in the like a note taking app and all those things. So always give like a strong password. So I'm just using the simple password like a 12345. And if you see everything is tick mark here, you can just go to the next part, or else you just need to fix those things wherever anything is happened here. So I see every tick mark here. So if you see any cross mark or into or an incorrect, you just need to fix those things. After clicking on next, here you should be seeing a summary of whatever you chose in the previous installation steps. So if everything is good, you just need to click on install. If anything is wrong, just go back and fix all those things. And this is like an unknown distribution, so that's the reason I'm not going to install it on the VirtualBox or in the bare metal or anything. And also I'm not recommending anyone to do that. So that's the installation part. There is no complicated things in the installation, and also the installation will take like a 20-25 minutes if you have like a good end PC. So if you have like a recommended requirements, it's going to take like a 20-25 minutes, and if you have like a high-end PC, it's going to be very quick. Like there will be plus or more plus or minus timing, like 10 minutes or 15 minutes like that, but basically it's going to take like a 20-25 minutes. And about the pre-installed applications, you get a bunch of applications here. So I don't think like a bloatware or anything like that, because most of them are like a Firefox and LibreOffice, which is usually used in every Linux distro by a normal user. So I don't think I can't call it like a bloatware or anything like that. But these are all the things which is available right here. I can call it like a bloatware applications, but other things is pretty much for normal user. So I'm not going to say anything about that. Let's check the App Store. So let's open the App Store. So I think the guy who made like a CutefishOS should be made this distribution, because the developer says like his name is like a kind of similar like a CutefishOS, and also the developer has like a cute something like that. I already showed you in the developer options in the SourceForge website. The developer of this Lingmo OS was seen to be like a cute or something like that. So I have like a suspicious thing like the same guy should be made like a CutefishOS should be made this same Lingmo OS. Why? Because the same things, the icons and all those things, like as you can see, everything kind of looks like a CutefishOS. The notification bar kind of similar. If you don't know how the Cutefish was, you just can watch my videos. It was pretty much same. There is no change. So that's the reason never go with the fancy things. Always go with the well-known distributions. That's the reason I will always says, because it's your privacy. You need to be very careful, because people going to steal every information as soon as it's available. So never go with these unknown distributions. And also I never recommend any type of Linux distributions. I always say the only thing, always go with the well-known distributions, because a lot of people want to help if you have any issues. So there are good people who love to help you, so go with the well-known distributions, so people can easily help you if you, even if you have issues. And about the updates, there is no updates. Everything is pretty much updated, because the ISO file was released a few hours ago. So as soon as the ISO is available, I'm going to make a video. Whatever the Linux distribution it is, I'm going to make a video as soon as the ISO files are released. And also I never recommend any type of Linux distributions. Keep that in mind also. And about the Explore, it's going to take some time here, so I'm just going to keep it like that. Let's check some like settings and all those things. Let's go with the settings. And you can see here is some settings like a Wi-Fi, about the Ethernet, Bluetooth. I'm not using a Bluetooth, proxy, about the display. And here you can see the same exact thing like a CutefishOS. So I think that's the reason the developer even calls himself like a cute or something like that. He calls himself like a cute developer. Maybe that's the reason the guy who made like a CutefishOS should be made this distribution also. I don't know what happened to CutefishOS, but here is another one. And here you can change the rotation. I'm going to keep everything as default. The available resolutions, you have plenty of resolutions. The scaling, you can change whatever scaling you want. And appearance, you can change to dark or light. And the accent color, you can customize. And here you can see the minimize options. So if you want this type of options, there is like a new distributions coming for after like a few days, maybe like a Cosmic Desktop. You heard of a Cosmic Desktop? Then this is like a same thing. Cosmic Desktop is way better in my opinion. It's still in the alpha version, but everything is like fancy things. Every animation and all those things is pretty much good. So I really like the work they made from the Pop OS, which is System 76. If you want to go with the fancy things, go with these like Pop OS a Cosmic Desktop. You just need to wait for a few more days and you should be getting the stable ISO files. And you can do that on like a Fedora and NixOS and a lot of distributions. You can do that desktop environment. You can install that desktop environment on the some distributions. So go with the Cosmic Desktop. Just you need to wait until the stable is released, because they have like a lot of fancy things also. You can go with this distribution because System 76 is from past few years, so it's also well you have a lot of information from the System 76. So if you want to go with the fancy things, go with the System 76 Cosmic Desktop. Let it just wait for a few more days and you should be getting the stable ISO files. So I will recommend this type of desktop environments, because the System 76 is well known. So you can try those Cosmic Desktop. If you don't like it, you can choose another desktop environments. There is no need to worry about anything, because it's clearly up to you. I'm just recommending for like a people who like the fancy things. You can try the Cosmic, or else if you want the default things like a XFCE or anything, you can try to watch some tutorials and you can do that on your own desktop environments. So there is no issue with fancy things. You can try all those things on your own. Just need to watch some tutorials and that's it. And let's continue back to the video. Here are some accent colors. Here are like effects and all those things. And in the background you should be seeing some wallpapers and all those things. So let it load. And here you should be getting these fancy wallpapers. So you can even download these wallpapers from the Google's or stock images like maybe Pixabay, and a lot of royalty free images will be available who can easily provide you for free also. You just need to find the website and you should be getting a lot of good wallpapers. So you just need to add some fancy wallpapers and you just need to change the panels and that's it. You can do whatever you want. You just need to download the icons pack and all those things and that's it. You can customize whatever desktop environment you have. You can do customization on your thing. And here are the wallpapers. Here are the color. Here is the image. I'm just going to choose the wallpaper, this one. And about the dock, again same thing as the CutefishOS. You can choose the full, you can choose the center, you can change it to like a right or else bottom, same thing like a medium. So exactly same like a CutefishOS, so there is nothing change here. And if you want to go with the smart hide, you can do that. And about the users, you can create an account. Notifications, don't provide any Google account or anything like that, just use some random accounts if you want. And about the notifications, I kept everything as a default. Sound, everything as a default. I didn't change anything or anything like that. I kept everything as a default here. And about the mouse, same like a CutefishOS, nothing changed. Date and time, same. Accessibility is kinda same. Default applications, again same things. Power options, even this thing is same, nothing changed, just some name is changed about the distribution. It's kinda or similar to the Cutefish, so everything is like a Cutefish for me. So this is how it is working on this PC, and also the App Store is still taking ages. So I'm just going to check the version and I'm going to close it. So this is how it performed. So I'm going to do a stress test by opening a bunch of applications, and let's see how much of resources it's going to take. So applications are opening instantly, and don't forget that I have like a 8 GB of RAM, and also I'm using i5 1240p CPU. It's not going to work same as if you have like a low end PC, it's not going to work smoothly. You need to try it on your own if you want. And also, if you ask me, I'm not going to recommend these distributions, but if you want to still try it, you can try it in the virtual machines. But if you ask, you're going to try it on the bare metal, I'm not going to say anything here, but I never say anything here, and also I never recommend also. So if you are trying it on the bare metal, I don't really recommend, but if you want to try it, it's clearly up to you. So I opened some applications here. As you can see, let's try to switch the applications. Everything is opening instantly because we have a good resources or the good RAM here. We have like a still 3-4 GB of RAM available, and also CPU is we have like a 30-40% of CPU available. So everything is good here. So if you have like a 2 GB of RAM and maybe like a older CPU, it's not going to work smoother, but it's clearly up to you. I'm not going to say anything here. I'm just saying not to use this type of Linux distributions, but it's clearly up to you. So let's check some other things. Like here is like a file manager, and I already showed you the browser information. So here is the VLC media player. It's kind of like a macOS thing, 3.0.21. And we have the calculator, which is same like the macOS. The version is right here. So this is how it performed in my PC or in the virtual machines. And again, we have some issues or some bugs in this release. So if you're a Linux tester or a distro hopper, you can try it in the virtual machines. Here is some new distributions. But if you're a normal user, I really don't recommend you to do install this type of Linux distributions. And I never recommend this type of distributions. I always recommend a good distributions or well-known distributions. I'm not going to name anything, but go with the well-known distributions, or a lot of people who use the same distributions, go with those distributions. You can change the icon packs, you can change the wallpaper, you can customize whatever you want. You just need to watch some tutorials. So at the end of the video, this is how it performed. These are all the processes running. These are the resources. And I can't make a full screen system monitor, and I can't maximize this. That's an issue. So it's okay. I'm going to end the video here. So let's check the logout screen. So I already made a Lingmo OS An OS, which is like some random distribution. So I don't even recommend that distribution. I just made just for, I don't have any topic, so that's the reason I made that video. And also I kind of find like it's kind of funny to me, so that's the reason I made that video. And if you want to subscribe, you can subscribe. I'll be posting 2 videos daily, so if you want to subscribe, you can subscribe. And about the password, I really don't know the password. I think the password should be LIVE. Yes, it is. The password is LIVE for the Linux tester or a distro hopper. You just need to type in like a LIVE in the small letters and you should be good with the password. And if you're a normal user, I already said my thoughts, never use this type of distributions. And other thing, it's clearly up to you. So thanks for watching. Peace out.